Hello everybody, this is Mr. Cloud, and in this video I'm going to go through an overview of Lesson 2C, which we just completed in class. I also want to remind you that upcoming later this week will be our unit test, which will cover all the material from 2A, 2B, 2C, and 2D, which we'll learn next class. So 2C is a focus on the preamble to the Constitution. Here's the preamble. First thing the students need to know about the preamble is it was the introduction to the Constitution. It also explained why they wrote the Constitution, and that it lists the goals of the government. So let's make sure we have this down. Is the preamble lists the goals for the new governments under the Constitution. Also, it lists or explains why they wrote the Constitution in the first place. All right. So some teachers ask that students memorize this. I think it's a good idea to memorize this. However, I'm not really as concerned about students remembering word for word. Rather, I'm concerned about students understanding what the words mean. Some of them are kind of tricky, so we have to break this down. We the people starts the document, and of course there's the really famous image of the We the People from the actual Constitution. There it is in huge letters, We the People. This signifies that the Constitution came from the people. Again, one of our concepts we learned about is consent of the governed. All the power of our government comes from the people themselves. So they start the Constitution, start the preamble, We the People of the United States, and then they list a series of things that they want the Constitution to do. First one is to, in order to form a more perfect union. Remember, under the Articles, the states were not unified. Each state was basically like its own little country. So with this document, they were hoping to form a more perfect union of states. The next goal of government is to establish justice, meaning there would be a fair legal system across all the states. The next one is to ensure domestic tranquility. Students should know that domestic refers to home. So it could be actually your home, or it could be your home country. Tranquility, of course, means peace within your home. So to ensure domestic tranquility is to ensure peace within the country. The next one is to provide for the common defense. And I know it does look like that's misspelled, but this is the original spelling from the Constitution, where they had slightly different spelling rules. Provide for the common defense is military protection against outside invaders. So that's another goal of the Constitution. And then our fifth one here is to promote the general welfare, to make sure that everything is great. Oftentimes students will see this on a quiz question or a test question as which goal of government is being fulfilled when the government might help build hospitals or bridges or schools, and that's to promote the general welfare. And then finally, to secure the blessings of liberty, which of course refers to the freedoms that we're born with: the freedom of speech, freedom to vote, freedom of religious choice, freedom of assembly. All those are what we refer to as blessings of liberty. Students should be able to identify those. A couple other key words here. Those are the listed goals of the Constitution in the preamble, but there's also they wanted those things for themselves and their posterity. Posterity here refers to your descendants. So your children, your children's children, those are your posterity. We are the posterity of the Founding Fathers. So we, the people of the United States, in order to do all these things here and secure these rights for ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States. And ordain is a super fancy word we've learned about. That means to formally begin, formally start a legal process or a ceremony or something like that. All right. The key from this lesson is understanding these things. If students can understand and identify each one of these goals and kind of talk about it. For instance, if I say which one of these goals refers to the states getting along with each other, and that would be like in order to form a more perfect union of the states. I could say which one talks about the states not getting in civil wars with each other. Maybe that's ensure domestic tranquility. What's the goal of the preamble where the founders said they wanted all the states to work together to provide a military defense for America? That's to provide for the common defense. All right. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. Thank you for watching. Again, test coming up at the end of this week on Thursday or Friday, depending on which day you're in. Make sure you're studying totally ready for it. Thanks.